A trio of officials close to Trump's administration indicted. The president takes to Twitter to react, and Oklahoma lawmakers are going back to the drawing board. This is OU Nightly.
Today's announcement has nothing to do with the president, has nothing to do with the president's campaign or campaign activity.
White House spokesperson Sarah Huckabee Sanders was quick to react to the indictment of former Donald Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort and his business partner Rick Gates this afternoon. They pleaded not guilty to charges they conspired to launder millions of dollars paid to them by a pro-Russian political party in the Ukraine. And less than an hour after the Manafort and Gates indictments were announced, another Washington bombshell, a guilty plea by former President Trump advisor George Papadopoulos to charges he lied to the FBI about his contacts with Russian agents.
Today's revelations mean the sprawling investigation being conducted by special counsel Robert Mueller into the Trump campaign's possible collusion with Russian officials, and it is entering a new active phase that places former Trump advisors in legal jeopardy. Manafort and Gates could face up to 80 years in federal prison if convicted on all counts. Prosecutors assert the pair worked as unregistered agents for the Ukraine government and the Party of Regions, a pro-Russian political party.
The indictment says that almost $75 million flowed through the accounts controlled by Manafort and Gates. Papadopoulos, who pleaded guilty to perjury but who has not been sentenced, is cooperating with prosecutors according to court documents filed in federal court today.
And that's just scratching the surface of the story. Harley Tutman joins us now in the News Center with the president's reaction to the indictment.
President Donald Trump took to Twitter quickly this morning to react to the indictment of his former top officials. Trump distanced himself from Manafort, asking why Hillary Clinton wasn't being investigated. Trump tweeted, "Sorry, but this is years ago, before Paul Manafort was part of the Trump campaign. But why aren't crooked Hillary and the Dems the focus?" He soon added a tweet, "Also, there is no collusion." Trump tweeted before Papadopoulos' guilty plea was revealed. An update on the crisis in Catalonia. Today, Spain moved to put Catalonia's region leaders on trial for crimes that could land them in prison for decades. This follows Parliament voting on Friday in favor of Catalonia's separation from Spain and firing the region's president and cabinet. Yesterday, thousands of protesters took to the streets in opposition of Catalonia's independence movement, saying they are the silent majority. Today, a federal judge partially blocked Trump's administration from banning transgender people from serving in the military. Judge Colleen Kohler-Catelli ruled that transgender service members who had previously sued over Trump's policy will most likely win. Back in June, Trump ordered a return to the policy, which barred transgender individuals from joining the military, and service members could be discharged for being transgender. In Shea, the Trump administration may appeal Colleen Catelli's decision, but for now, the proposed ban remains unenforceable.
Thanks, Harley. This afternoon, Oklahoma lawmakers reconvened a special session to fill a $215 million hole in the state budget. The Oklahoma House and Senate will consider a variety of revenue-raising proposals. Lawmakers have not been able to mutually agree on a raise to revenue. And last week, the Senate adopted a resolution asking the House to pass a package of tax increases, but the bill failed to leave the committee.
We're not sure what's clear over there, but I am sure it is clear outside.
Yes,
the weather is perfect.
Amazing. Not too hot, not too cold.
Absolutely right. And Carolyn, is that going to keep up for the rest of the week?
Yes, we've had a beautiful day, but it has been very windy. It's nothing compared to what they've got on the East Coast, though. There's this large nor'easter. They've gotten 130-mile-per-hour wind gust in New Hampshire. Now, this system is affecting the whole nation. It's what brought through that cold front overnight. We've seen a large drop in temperatures, almost a 30-degree drop in temperatures in the Panhandle. For us here in Norman, we saw a 15-degree drop, so we're going to be dipping into the 30s overnight tonight. Coming up, I've got your Halloween forecast with a few rain chances in it, and we've got a huge warm-up in the next week. You don't want to miss it.
Thank you. Investigators discovered a body of a 30-year-old woman in western Oklahoma, but the cause of death is a mystery. Though the autopsy does not determine the woman's cause of death, the OSBI has identified the Carnegie native as Cindy Rose Cottle. OSBI investigators are still investigating and are looking to speak with anyone who had contact with Cottle last week.
And still ahead on OU Nightly, an in-depth look at an OU homecoming tradition.
That's right, and United Airlines has a deal that's hard to pass up. Welcome back. From sidewalk chalk to chrysanthemums, homecoming can still be seen on OU's campus. And although the festivities might be over, OU Nightly's JC Bayless shows us one of the traditions from start to finish.
I'm pomping.
Right now, I'm pomping.
Pomping, the process that transforms chicken wire into floats that make their way down Boyd Street during the homecoming parade. Pomping is a must-do now for floats that are looking to compete, but it's still relatively new to this campus.
About 10 years ago, pomping really started, but definitely last year saw a huge increase in creativity and amount of pomp.
So what exactly is pomping?
You take a pen or a highlighter that will fit in the chicken wire. You wrap it with a piece of tablecloth, and then you just poke it in the little chicken wire.
And these floats don't come together overnight. Members are required a set number of hours a week.
I pomp 6 hours a week. I mean, I hate doing this, but I can find the time.
And they aren't cheap either.
It's $3,500. Pomp is so expensive, and a little bit only goes so far, and you can cut it up so small, but it's still you need a lot to make the floats that OU students have been making the past couple years.
Altogether, there are 12 floats that compete. If each spent their max of $3,500, that would be around $40,000 spent on floats alone. And what happens to them after they make their way down Boyd Street?
But a lot of groups just trash their floats.
That's right. They end up in the garbage. The Homecoming Executive Committee has tried to put in place incentives for groups that choose to reuse or recycle any part of their floats. But for now, you can drive down Greek Row and see dumpsters overflowing. JC Bayless, OU Nightly.
The float that took first place this year used no pomp at all and instead utilized the Innovation Hub for their construction. The parade chair said she hopes that groups will start to use other resources in the coming years.
The Oklahoma Supreme Court blocked the proposed law aimed at first-time DUI offenders earlier today. Though approved by the state legislature this year, the law originally scheduled to go into effect tomorrow will have to wait a little bit longer. The new law would have made refusing a breath test as illegal and would have abolished the appeals process for DUI offenders attempting to reinstate their driver's license.
And Abby Green is here with why some mobile companies might be in jeopardy.
Trouble is on the line for T-Mobile and Sprint. The telecom mega deal combining T-Mobile and Sprint is dealing with pricing and governance issues. SoftBank, who controls Sprint, does not plan to withdraw from the deal discussions. T-Mobile owner requested for control of the combined company, but SoftBank didn't want to surrender control. SoftBank is planning to break off negotiations on a merger between the companies. And as holiday season approaches, some of retail's biggest companies are being called out by Wall Street. JCPenney along with Macy's were downgraded today by Citi Research. Macy's shares have dropped more than 5% and JCPenney were 10% lower. Other retail stores such as Kohl's, Dillard's, and Nordstrom are also dropping, bringing the S&P 500 down with it. Retail companies are strategizing increased shares over the holidays. And United is selling seats on its nonstop flight from Los Angeles to Singapore for $177 when purchased as a round trip. United made history last month after the flight launched. The 8,700-mile trip is the longest nonstop flight from the U.S. and is just short of a 20-hour journey. United is also offering different add-ons to the regular economy sets, which could increase the price, but could also make flights more enjoyable. And with millions of Americans partaking in Halloween festivities, sales are expected to reach around $9.1 billion. Consumers are expected to spend around $86 each compared to last year, which was around $82. The NRF is predicting that shoppers will spend $3.4 billion on costumes, $2.7 billion on candy, and another $410 on cards. Record spending for Halloween and the holiday season could be good for retailers after a slow start. And well, after this scary start, I think this spooky holiday could be good for retailers this year.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Sounds like I need to
With
go
people
shopping
like
and go to
me,
Singapore.
I know that they will be absolutely fine this season, so thank you so much, Abby.
Thank you, Abby.
And the month of October may be coming to a close, but the Gaylord College Food Drive is in full swing. Earlier this month, the OU Food Bank teamed up with the Gaylord ambassadors to bring a food drive to Gaylord College. Gaylord Ambassadors Chair Erica Avard says the drive has raised almost 150 units of food since October 23rd. But Avard says the drive is about more than just numbers.
I think just raising awareness of the amount of food insecurity on our campus will help. I mean, the donations themselves, of course, will help a lot, and donating to the pantry will help a lot. But I think talking about it will help the people that need it the most, letting them know that the OU family has their back, no matter what.
Avard says if you want to help, you can bring donations to student services on the second floor of Gaylord. The drive ends on November 11th.
And if helping in our local food drive doesn't quench your thirst for charity, the Regional Food Bank could use your help. The OKC-based food bank is trying to win a $25,000 grant, and it needs people to like and share this video on social media to do so. Last year alone, the nonprofit dispersed over $30 million worth of food, and the food bank claims that the grant could help provide up to 125,000 more meals to hungry Oklahomans. You can find and share the video at www.regionalfoodbank.org/upstandards before the challenge ends tomorrow.
And still ahead on OU Nightly, the Sooners keep their championship dreams alive.
That's right, and Carolyn Brown is standing by with weather.
Yes, it's been a beautiful day here in Norman, but we could see some rain tomorrow. I'll have your full trick-or-treat forecast up next. Welcome back to OU Nightly and happy Monday. We're taking a live look outside the Bizzell Library. It's been an absolutely beautiful day here in Oklahoma. Our temperatures have stayed relatively pleasant, currently at 60 degrees, but with the strong winds, 21 miles an hour, it has felt pretty nippy as you're walking to class. This is going to continue overnight and our temperatures are going to keep dropping. We're going to be about 45 at midnight and we're going to keep dropping into the lower 30s into tomorrow morning. The good news is these strong winds are going to decrease down to about 5 miles an hour overnight, so it should feel a little better out there. But for the rest of the state, it is going to be cold, especially in northwest Oklahoma. The low tonight in Miami is 29 degrees. So it will be dry overnight, but as we get into tomorrow morning, we do see a chance for a little bit of precip to happen, which means we could see a little bit of dusting, a trace of snow in northwest Oklahoma. For the rest of us, we are expecting to see a few pop-up showers here in central Oklahoma. These should push off to the east for the evening hours, so your trick-or-treating should only be impacting mostly during the afternoon. So laying out hour by hour, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. we are expecting a chance of showers and our temperatures are only going to warm up to about 50. Once you get to your evening trick-or-treaters, we're expecting to stay dry, but those temperatures are going to stay cold. So definitely pack a jacket with your costume. So for the upcoming 2 days, it's going to be a cold, potentially soggy Halloween. It's going to warm up a little bit on Wednesday, but we're going to see a large warm up for the rest of the week, warming up to 80 by Thursday. So it's definitely not going to be feeling like fall or winter this next week.
Okay, this weather is just going up and down, cold, hot. There's no like fall weather yet that's staying.
Why do you like it? I don't like the fact that I have to change between like a jacket and a short sleeve t-shirt because it's just so inconsistent.
It's cold in the morning and then in the afternoon you have to take off your jacket because you're sweating.
You got to do the layers. That's the key.
That's very true. Thank you so much.
And the Sooners put together one of their best performances in weeks. William Soule is here with more. William?
That's right. OU got the win, and our guys have the recap. And we'll get you the highlights from last night's epic World Series Game 5. Sports is up next. For the first time in Big 12 play, the Sooners took care of business against Texas Tech. The first quarter looked like a repeat of last year's game, with both teams winning by a combined score of 34 points. But once the Sooners took the lead in the second quarter, they never looked back. Rodney Anderson rushed for a career-high 181 yards, and the Sooners defense only allowed 7 points in the final 3 quarters to lead OU to a 49-27 victory. And OU Nightly's Carson Williams and Reagan Ledbetter break down the Sooners' win.
Well, it wasn't the shootout that we saw last year in Lubbock, although we certainly thought it was going to be that way after the first couple of drives. Reagan, OU and Texas Tech really, trading touchdowns back and forth. But in the second quarter, OU's defense really stepped up, only allowed 7 points in the second half, and their 49-27 win today over Tech.
Yeah, Texas Tech came in with the game plan to run it down the Sooners' throats, and that's what they did on that first possession, all the way down for a touchdown. And they had those 2 big passing plays, really torching the OU secondary for 2 more scores. But then they flipped the switch, made the adjustments, and really had a good game all around on defense for 3 quarters. And that was big for this team because they have not had a complete game yet this season.
No, they haven't. And then, guys like, Caleb Kelly got his first interception today. I thought that was a really good play call. This may have been OU's most complete game, maybe after that first quarter. And, this is what the, Sooners had to say after the game.
It was one of our more complete games, honestly. It was. As a team, I really wish we'd have complimented each other better early. That was maybe the biggest disappointment of the night. But I think it was definitely one of our more complete games. I thought our mentality, energy level, physicality was really good the whole night.
Our slogan, the "We Too Deep," it definitely fits true for this year. It's something that I've been saying. It's, coming into the year, a lot of people didn't know who we were going to have, but I was always hitting on it that we had the deepest running back room that we've had since I've been here.
Baker Mayfield said he's going to have to break out his stash early this year. That'll do it for us here in Norman. Again, OU wins 49-27 over Texas Tech. For Reagan Ledbetter, I'm Carson Williams.
And from football to basketball, the OU men's team hosted a scrimmage against UT Arlington on Saturday. The scrimmage raised money for the United Way's Hurricane Harvey Recovery Fund. The Sooners lost 99-84, but saw good production from Christian James and Trey Young. And for more OU Hoops news, join the Sooners Sports Pad team tonight. Stars Kadeem Latin and Hannes Pola are the in-studio guests. Madeline and the boys will look back at last week's Halloween baseball game tonight live on Fox Sports Oklahoma at 7:30. You can catch the replay tomorrow at 5 right here after our newscast. And the Dallas Cowboys traveled to Washington on Sunday to take on the Redskins, who took an early lead thanks to a Robert Kelly touchdown. And although Zeke had another monster game with 150 yards on the ground, it was the Cowboys' defense that made the difference. A blocked field goal led to a Cowboys touchdown, and a late pick six sealed the victory 33-19. And with what can only be described as must-see TV, the Houston Astros defeated the Los Angeles Dodgers 13-12 in 10 innings on Sunday. 7 home runs on the night led to the second highest scoring game in World Series history, and a game full of drama ended when an Alex Bregman single walk-off gave the Astros a 3-2 lead in the series. And one Astros fan will be leaving the stadium a little disappointed, but Yasiel Puig hit a home run in the top of the 9th inning to bring the Dodgers within 1 run. One lucky fan caught the ball only to have her brother-in-law throw it back onto the field. Guys, she's going to be really disappointed, but no one's more disappointed than my dad, a huge Dodgers fan.
Hey, I think that's being a good fan right there. It's at your home field, and they just score on you. I wouldn't want that. I would just throw it back. It's like the literal 12th man.
Considering it's worth money, I would want it.
I get that.
So
that
mad.
might be the only downfall. But anyway, thank you, Will. And still to come on OU Nightly, OU's homecoming court shines on Owen Field.
I'm Taitum Wilson at the OU Nightly Update Desk. Darren Sumner, the publisher of a small Oklahoma newspaper, the Sapulpa Herald, found a startling surprise right in the newsroom when he saw a live bobcat in the bathroom. Wildlife control workers captured the animal and released it into the wild, and no one was injured. That's it from the Update Desk. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Taitum. Neath a western sky on a cold Saturday night, OU's homecoming royalty court took to Owen Field. 10 of OU's biggest names spent the day participating in campus festivities, awaiting to find out who would be crowned OU's homecoming king and queen. And though all were quality representatives, it was SGA Vice President Cameron Burleson and Senior Sociology Major Visha Patel who were crowned. And it wasn't really a windy night during the game, but I know Caroline has a fact about some really strong winds elsewhere in the U.S.
Yes. So last night there was actually 133 mile-per-hour wind gust in Mount Washington, New Hampshire. So that's with that big nor'easter. So about 1.2 million people currently don't have power in the Northeast.
Crazy. And it's cold up there, so that's like an awful time to not have power when it's getting cold outside.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, and thanks for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.